What is No Man's Sky like? Is No Man's Sky worth playing? Should I get No Man's Sky? I get these questions in my live chat sometimes, and I always find it a little difficult to answer in earnest, just as No Man's Sky is such a huge game that it's tricky to explain it in a sentence. And how would I know whether you would like something? With that in mind, when Hello Games asked me to make a video for them and gave me complete creative control over it, I thought taking an objective look at what No Man's Sky is could be useful for prospective players to answer that question themselves. As this is a sponsored video, be sure to check out that link in the description for No Man's Sky if your interest is piqued. When you start a new save in No Man's Sky, you are basically dropped onto a random planet in the galaxy. You will be a several minute walk from your ship which has crashed and needs fixing. Your tech is broken and bare bones, and you have very little in the way of survival resources needed to protect you from the elements. First, you must gather some resources to get the bare minimum technology online and keep your hazard protection technology fueled. Then you'll make your way across this likely undiscovered alien landscape toward your ship, which you will find crashed and in need of repair before you can hope to fly it out of there. Many players spend hours and hours on the first planet. The point is that whether you spend 20 minutes rushing through everything or several days enjoying the discovery of new game mechanics, items, technology and more on this first planet is completely and utterly up to you. No Man's Sky is a sandbox, and while there are missions and storylines, and no small amount of them, you do what you want when you want to. Let's talk about scope. I mentioned this starting planet randomly picked in the galaxy for you to drop in on. This is mostly true, but as reaching the centre of the galaxy is a goal in itself, you will start a roughly static distance from the centre. So think of it as a planet randomly chosen from the systems that make up a ring near the outside of the galaxy. You may have heard of the number 18 quintillion being associated with No Man's Sky. This is the number of possible planet seeds, and so the maximum amount of different planets the game's code can produce. So how are all of these laid out? Well, first of all, while that is the number of potential planets, the actual number of planets that exists to visit in the base game is in the quadrillions, still a substantial and insurmountable number. Each planet or moon exists in a star system. These star systems can hold up to 6 planetary bodies, so planets and moons. You can travel between planets and moons in your starship. You can fly normally, maybe with a boost or pulse. If flying normally, it's going to take you a very long time to get to another planet, though an orbiting moon is doable. Pulse is a sort of mini-warp form of travel. It is used to travel within star systems to go from one planet to another or elsewhere. You will only move forward or lock onto a waypoint in Pulse, unable to manually turn. Star systems exist inside regions of space. These regions are named collections of star systems visible on the galactic map. The galactic map is used to plot travel between star systems. Crossing region borders is perfectly fine. The regions don't play a part in the travel itself. It is just a way the game separates space. So travel between systems is just system to system. After that, well, the galaxy is made up of regions, billions of them, each with hundreds of systems, each with multiple planets. Who knows, maybe there's more than that. I mean, what universe only has a single galaxy, right? The important thing to know for this game and its scope is that if you are standing on a planet or a moon and in the sky you see a beautiful marble, clear land masses and oceans, maybe even the hue of an atmosphere from the light refracting through it, if you see it, you can go there. That is true for those planets and moons in the night sky. It is true for all of those little stars in the galactic map. If you move far enough away, you may need multiple warp jumps to reach it, but you can select it to plot a course and get there eventually. You just need to go there. So there are lots of planets to discover. But does that really mean anything? No Man's Sky has a dedicated discovery section of the menu. This is where everything you discover is stored. You can discover individual plants, animals and minerals on each planetary body. You can also discover regions on each planet via waypoints found at buildings and other points of interest found on planets. You can discover planets, moons and systems. You can rename all of those to whatever you want and upload those discoveries to Hello Game servers. Uploading will mark these as discovered by you. You can choose to rename them as you do this, and your new names will be what other people see if they find them. That is a huge thing in itself. No Man's Sky is not like many other games. Say a certain Viking game, you have a world where you and up to 9 of your friends, or more with mods, play and build. Whatever you build can be found and seen by your fellow players. In No Man's Sky, it's that, except it's one absolutely enormous server. Every player can go to where you built or found that thing, and they can see it. Every player, not just ones in your party or friends list, or those who made a character in your world, the entire universe, over multiple platforms, is shared by everyone. Unfortunately, it's more than big enough for all of us. I mentioned building just now, and in No Man's Sky, building is huge. No Man's Sky has one of the best building systems in gaming. I've played many games with building, as survival crafting with sandboxery is my jam, and they all have some form of it. I can't objectively say it is the best, but it is certainly among the greats. The basics are that you have hundreds of building pieces to choose from. You can very easily make basic houses using the various walls, floors, roofing and doors. There are 4 basic sets of walls, floors, roofs and doors, all with a lot of variation. On top of that, there is a huge amount of different decorations, from hanging shrubbery and trees to vases, generators, ruins, posters, crash ships and more. There are also a lot of functional building parts such as farmable crops, functioning technology like medium and large refiners that act somewhat like alchemy machines, turning resources into other resources. Nutrient processors to cook all sorts of meat and byproducts you got from alien fauna, or vegetables you picked up from your crops or wild plants. Even a dedicated video would be a bit silly to go through every build part. There is also something known as glitch building in No Man's Sky. With the somewhat recent adoption of glitch being used in place of exploit, many seem to misunderstand what glitch building is as far as the morality goes. Glitch building has its own enormous community in No Man's Sky, using the building system in ways it wasn't made for to get results beyond the scope of the system. The difference here, and why you shouldn't misunderstand it, is because Hello Games loves it. Glitch building has brought about an immense amount of creativity and frankly ridiculous builds in No Man's Sky. Hello Games even feature player bases on occasion for other players to visit in person. Many, if not most of these featured bases have had some form of glitch building used in their creation, some even using Blender to import a design. Building is one of the pillars of No Man's Sky, and something a massive amount of the players really enjoy, whether they glitch build or just enjoy making a cozy cottage on top of a snow-covered mountain. If you are considering No Man's Sky, you likely wish to know how multiplayer works and whether you can play with your friends. The quick answer is yes. As I said before, we all share the same universe. What we discover and build can be seen by all. That is if we choose to upload it. The same is for playing directly with others. You can turn multiplayer on and off via a simple toggle in the network settings at any point while in game. You can also control a lot of different settings about how you interact with other people. If it's off, you won't see any other players. You will see their discoveries and bases that have been uploaded, but you won't see them and they won't see you. If you turn it on, they and you can. That is if you are in the same place, and with the universe being vast, it is truly rare to randomly bump into another player without either intending to or going to heavily populated areas such as near the centre, or within known player civilized space. Yes, players have made their own civilizations, a good example being the biggest, the Galactic Hub. It has been around basically from the start and is a collection of several specific regions in space that the Galactic Hub has claimed as their own. The idea being to play together in a focused area so that the area can be properly catalogued and discovered in full. There are many other civilizations too, such as Zane's World Own, the Union of Allied Systems, many of which claim some small area of space. You may think it arrogant to simply claim this space as yours, but I assure you there is more than enough space for everyone, and if you think it's ever going to run out, you haven't yet realised the scope of this game. Space will not run out, it is not possible, there is too much of it. There is also a multiplayer hub of sorts called the Space Anomaly. The Space Anomaly is a sort of subspace bubble that you can enter from anywhere. You simply summon it to you in space, go through the opening, and you are in the anomaly, a separate area of space, kinda like a huge TARDIS. In this, due to it being a singular location you can enter from anywhere, if you have multiplayer on, you'll see other players here pretty much guaranteed. You can join them and complete some group missions on the Nexus, the mission board inside the anomaly, or visit some of the alien travellers that live on it. The anomaly is a prime location to purchase blueprints for technology and building. Many of these blueprints can be obtained elsewhere without purchasing due to the game's sandbox nature, but if you just wish to build and not go through various missions to be able to build a specific piece, then you can just obtain it here. Just so there's no confusion, you purchase it with in-game currencies. No Man's Sky has no microtransactions, none at all, never has, and they basically said it never will. Hello Games don't even charge for content updates. You buy the game once, and you're good for all the new stuff. It feels a little odd to say a sandbox has a gameplay loop, but it does to a degree. You gather resources to build the thing, you build the thing, which enables you to get more resources or build new things, and so on. Crafting in No Man's Sky is done in a few ways. Largely, it's done in your inventory or any of your inventories, whether it be your main exosuit inventory, your ship's inventory, your exo crafts, or your freighters. You just click an empty slot, and if you have the blueprint to craft the thing, it will be in your list. And if you have the resources to craft it, you can click to craft it. Other forms of crafting exist, such as the refiner, where you can refine 1, 2 or even 3 resources or products into one new resource or product. Also the nutrient processor for cooking up to 3 foods into another food. You also craft technology that will improve the item you crafted it in. For example, you cannot generally craft the weapons themselves, though there is one type but in general not. Instead you find the weapon, called a multi-tool in this game, and then craft technology into it, such as different weapon attachments, or upgrade its mining capability. Turn it into a laser sniper, a burst-fire assault rifle, a machine gun, or even a grenade launcher. You can even build all of those and just switch between them on the fly. You can own multiple multi-tools and multiple ships, having different technology with different layouts on each for different purposes. While we're on that subject, I mentioned base building earlier, and while there isn't a set cap to the amount of bases, there is a cap on buildable parts built, but it's many thousands, allowing you to build quite a few huge bases. I've barely scratched the surface here. My goal was to give you an idea of the type of game No Man's Sky is without any of the "trust me bro" that would ring corrupt on a paid video, while also not spoiling it for you. No Man's Sky is one of those games full of discovery. It's literally one of the main pillars of the game. The joy in discovery is only experienced that first time you play a game, so I hope I've managed to give you enough information to make a decision without taking that from you. Thank you for hanging out, and be sure to click the link below if you decided No Man's Sky is worth your time. Peace.